there's something really extraordinary about that feeling of being able to share with the world this inner journey that we artists go on. My name is Andrew Bolam, and I work in acrylic on canvas. I grew up holding a pencil, and I just was non-stop drawing as a kid. And in high school in England, when I was 14 years old, I was chosen to be in a kind of a special art class in the school, and I remember in the first class, this was the most promising artist students out of a school of 1,600 kids, and the teacher said, out of this giant school, you guys are probably the 11 most gifted kids, and out of all of you, maybe not even one of you might make it as an artist, but maybe there's a chance for one of you. And I remember just thinking, and I don't know why, because I didn't have any reason to believe it, but I just thought, oh, it's going to be me. And so that was kind of when I first started thinking, yeah, I will do something in the arts. I don't know, what it would be, but I knew I was going to do something with my drawing skills. I started working as a graphic designer and an illustrator. And with that, I worked mostly in gouache and a little bit of acrylic. And when I transitioned into painting, I worked in oils, and I worked in oils for a good 15 years or more. And about a decade ago, I had a project I was working on that involved a lot of layers and sanding. I was trying to create sort of modern day cave paintings was the idea for the series. And as I got into the series, I started thinking, this is going to have to be done with acrylic. And so I did the whole series in acrylic. And when I got done with it, I just thought, I don't want to ever go back to working with oil paints, just the smell of it and having to wear gloves. And so I just kind of stuck with acrylic, and I've learned how to do pretty much everything I was doing with oils and acrylic. I love the agony and the ecstasy. I love the going into the studio and just getting my ass kicked by a painting and just working on it and battling with it, and then finally bringing it back to a place where I know I'm going to be happy with it, and feeling that sense of accomplishment. The feeling that I can conjure up an idea out of pure inspiration from outside of myself, and I can go into my studio and use all the skills that I've developed over the years to kind of translate what's in my imagination onto a canvas. And at the end of a studio session or a few studio sessions, I can step back and see this thing that I could see in my head is now a living thing that other people can see. There's something really extraordinary about that feeling of being able to share with the world this inner journey that we artists go on. I've been doing this a long time, and I am still extremely excited and grateful for every single collector and every single piece that sells. It just tickles me that strangers and now people who I've got to know over the years like my work enough to spend money on it. That's kind of amazing. But the second answer to that question is I don't spend really a lot of time thinking about that, because if an artist allows the end result or end user process to infiltrate their work, it can can have the effect of changing the work and not for the better. If you start allowing other people's ideas and thoughts into your head when you're creating, and all of a sudden you're starting to create for the marketplace rather than create for yourself. So I always think to myself, I'm doing this exclusively for me. What do I want to see in the world? If I was looking for a piece of artwork for my home, what would I want it to be? And then I create that piece. Knowing that not everyone in the world is going to like it, not everyone's going to get it, not everyone's going to be into it, but there might probably just be one other person who has similar thoughts to me out of a planet of 7 billion people, and that one person, if they see it, they're going to want to have it. And so I try not to paint to the marketplace or paint for people. I just try to please myself, and I've been fortunate that there's always one person out there who has to have it. The subject matter that I work on really stems from my 5-year-old little self. I was a kid growing up in Northern England, fascinated with Western movies, and loved all the Western TV shows, The Lone Ranger and all of the John Wayne movies, and just kind of grew up watching these TV shows and movies about the West that were, for a little kid in England, the most exotic thing you can imagine is cowboys and Native Americans and buffalo wandering through Yellowstone, and wildlife documentaries also captured my imagination as a kid. So as an adult artist, what I'm really trying to do is tap into that childhood fascination with the subject matter whilst bringing some sort of adult ideas around fine art to the subject matter. So I'm really fascinated with visual cognition, how we interpret data that we collect with our eyes, and how we can put together abstract shapes and marks, and they collect together and resolve into a representational image. So with all of my paintings, there's implied detail, and I'm building layers and shapes into and arranging them in such a way as that they become an image that we all recognize, but I want to leave enough lack of information on the canvas that when you see it up close, you can think to yourself, gosh, it's just paint on canvas. It's not, I never use little brushes and I don't fill in every detail. I want the image to resolve from a distance into something, but up close I want it to be something else. So if you look at this piece in particular, it's very clearly a representational portrait of a Native American, and the face is quite realistic. But if you look at the headdress, this is all almost completely abstract. And there's lots of layers of paint and different textural things that I'm doing, building into the surface quality to make something interesting and exciting, using various color harmonies. I like to work with split complements and analogous color schemes. I don't use a lot of direct complements in my work. And so I'm building all of that into the image that I want you to see, but I also want you to just appreciate it for being paint on canvas. So I'm trying to do that with all of the paintings that I work on. Every series has that kind of through thread, if you will. Hands down, the other artists. Being in a tent with 100 artists all doing totally different things has been incredibly inspiring. I love wandering around the tent and seeing what other people are working on. I love seeing stuff that I'd never seen before, and artists doing amazing things that I would have never seen if it hadn't been for this show. So this has been a really fun few months, and I can't believe it's almost over. I'm just getting started.